Let's bring in two lawmakers at the center of this debate. Here in Washington, California Congressman Javier Becerra, head of the House Democratic Caucus. And from Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn, vice chair of the House Commerce Committee, which is investigating the troubled rollout of Obamacare. Congresswoman Blackburn, HHS Secretary Kathleen Sebelius is finally going to testify before your committee this week on Wednesday. What are the one or two top things that you want to find out from her?
What we want to figure out from her is, number one, how much money has been spent, is being spent, and is going to be spent on this website and on the problems that are there. And number two, we have privacy concerns with individuals' information, making certain that they are going to be protected. And number three, we want to look at the expectations, what they expect people are going to see on this website and when they think it's going to be fixed.
Congressman Becerra, even as a supporter of Obamacare, you've got to have questions for Secretary Sebelius. What do you think she needs to explain to the committee and to the American people?
Chris, perhaps the most important thing is to tell us when she really believes that we're going to have the website up and running the way it should. The administration, the president, everyone is now saying by Thanksgiving, people should be able to go through it. That's going to be important because you want to give people the time to look over their choices so that when they do decide, they're ready to go.
Here's how Secretary Sebelius explained the problems with the rollout this week. Take a look.
I think that there, in an ideal world, would have been a lot more testing. We did not have the luxury of that with a law that said it's go time on October 1st.
Congresswoman Blackburn, are you satisfied with that explanation? Should Secretary Sebelius resign? Should President Obama fire her?
Well, we want her to talk with us before she is out the door, but I tell you, the incompetence in building this website is staggering. When I am talking to healthcare professionals and constituents, they say, how in the world can you expect the federal government to handle 1/6 of the economy when there is this type of staggering incompetence on a website rollout?
Congressman Becerra, accountability. You know that if this happened in the private sector, somebody would pay with their job. There's not a chance in the world if this had happened at Apple or Google or Microsoft that somebody wouldn't be fired. Should there be accountability in the federal government?
No doubt there should be accountability. Anyone who got paid by the taxpayers, whether it's those private contractors who got taxpayer money, whether it's the health agency personnel who got money, or whether it's members of Congress who are responsible for the oversight of this plan, everyone should be accountable. But the most important thing we should worry about right now is making sure we fix the website, not fixate on the website. And certainly, I hope that no one's talking about shutting down something new now with the health care website, because what we want to do is see all those young people and older folks access good quality health care. Gentleman, Andrew Stryker, who's been interviewed, who's from Los Angeles, my city, 34 years of age, 3 hours to get on that website. But what he also says is he saved $6,000 by getting onto this website and getting a new policy. So 3 hours, unacceptable. The $6,000 savings, that's what you want to see.
Well, look, as we discussed...
Well, Chris,
Go ahead.
Let me point out one thing. This is a continuation of hearings that we have been doing at Energy and Commerce since March of 2011. We have had a dozen or so hearings that focus on the rollout of Obamacare. And what is troubling to us is the fact that repeatedly we have had administration officials, whether it's the Secretary, Marilyn Tavenner from CMS, Gary Cohen from CSIO, who have said, don't worry, or even the contractors who have said, don't worry, we're all on track. And now to find out that there was no end-to-end testing, that they were not focused on the integration, and that people are being disenfranchised and money wasted, we find that portion of it unacceptable. And I think it does not bode well for what is going to happen to people when they get into the system. They go to the hospital.
Congresswoman, I want to move forward, and we're going to get to exactly some of your issues, because as we discussed with Governor Jindal, the Obama administration now says the website is going to be up and working by the end of November. But that is only going to give people 2 weeks to sign up by December 15th if their health insurance has been canceled, and a lot of people are having their health insurance canceled, which raises the question, does this whole thing, the enrollment, the penalties, the mandate, doesn't need to be delayed until they get everything worked up and to give people adequate time to get on the system and to figure out what health insurance they want, Congresswoman?
Yes, absolutely. We should have a delay. I wrote H.R. 2809, which is the one-year delay of all things Obamacare. And there should be a suspension of the law to allow people to review this process. I'm pleased that so many Democrats are joining me now and saying, yes, indeed, there should be a suspension because there are too many problems, not only with the enrollment, but with the mandate, the taxes, the fees, and the penalties.
All right. I mean, let's get into this, because a lot of people may not understand. There's not only an individual mandate, there's not only an employer mandate, there's also a coverage mandate that according to Obamacare, each insurance policy that's sold has to meet certain standards for the number of benefits, and that's creating a problem. Let's put it on the screen. Congressman Becerra, in your state of California, Kaiser Permanente is canceling the policies of 160,000 people. That's half of its individual business. Florida Blue is terminating 300,000 policies, 80% of its individual business. Is it fair to say to someone, look, this website isn't going to be up and fully running till the end of November, but you're going to have to decide on a policy by December 15th, basically 2 weeks, or else you're going to be uninsured at the start of the year because your old insurance policy was canceled? I mean, why not do what the Senate Democrats are doing and just delay it?
Well, Chris, the good news is that Americans have 6 months to go ahead and enroll. If you enroll by December 15th...
if your policy is canceled, then you are out of luck on January 1st.
And there we have to talk to those private health insurance companies who are dismissing people who have insurance. That's the beauty of this new health security law, is that no longer will we see that, because people now will have access to a choice of insurance companies. No, but by the law,
they have to kick them out if by January 1st their policy doesn't meet the Obamacare standards.
Those policies, which were policies that didn't give real good coverage, may have to end. But if you apply by December 15th, you're set. If you don't apply by December 15th, what you're typically going to find is that by January 31st or February 1st, your new policy will kick in. So
yeah,
the good thing is
January 1st, you're uncovered. Let me just ask you what...
But remember, you've got 700,000 Americans who today have already applied.
They've applied. They haven't enrolled.
They've applied. They've finished all their paperwork. So now they're just waiting to hear, and on January 1st, they will be able to start their coverage. And that means over 100,000 in California.
I want to bring up something that President Obama promised, his biggest promise, as he was selling Obamacare. Take a look.
If you've got health insurance, you like your doctor, you like your plan, you can keep your doctor, you can keep your plan. Nobody is talking about taking that away from you.
Congressman Becerra, as I just pointed out, in your state of California, 160,000 people are being kicked off by Kaiser Permanente because their plan doesn't meet the Obamacare standards. The president is breaking that promise.
So Andrew Stryker from Los Angeles, 34-year-old male, is getting off of his current policy because it's not good. He's paying about $600 a month. And what he found when he got on the website was that he was going to save about $6,000 in the year. About 60% of the Americans who go onto the website...
A lot of policies, the premiums are going to go up and the coverage...
If I could just finish the point, Chris, about 60% of Americans who go on the website will find that they will qualify for a plan that costs them about $100 or less per month. That's far better than they have right now, with
Chris,
better benefit coverage.
Let me get into
that's the beauty of the plan, and you need to give it some time so we can see it work.
I've got to tell you, here's a couple of things. What we're finding from the state exchanges where there is data is most of what you're seeing is the expansion of Medicaid. Already we have Medicaid, a program with a $43 trillion unfunded liability. So set that part aside, and that's what they'd like to tout. What you're talking about specifically with policies being terminated, we hear these stories every single day from small business owners and individuals, that individual marketplaces being so adversely impacted. These individuals, you're exactly right, come January 1, they have no access to health insurance. What we are seeking to do is to make certain that if they do have something, that they are able to keep it. What the president said is turning out to be a falsehood, because they are not able to keep that, and they are desperate to figure out what they're going to do for coverage. And by the way, it is costing them more than they are currently paying because they have a policy that meets their needs.
Congressman,
and now they're saying
we're
you can no longer have it.
We're going to have to end this conversation, but guess what? It's going to continue. And I also, Congressman, I owe you to come back to talk about immigration reform, which I promise we will do, and we will be watching this week to hear what Secretary Sebelius has to say to the Congressional Committee. Thank you both for coming in
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you.
Up next, our Sunday panel joins us to weigh in on the Obamacare rollout. Is fixing the website the end of the problem or just the start?